What difference does it make if your lender is based here in Hawaii or somewhere else and just licensed in Hawaii? We'll talk about that coming up next. A really important consideration when buying property and getting a mortgage and using a lender is where that lender is based. Just because a lender is licensed to do loans and business in Hawaii doesn't mean that they always can. And that's one of the things about Hawaii real estate is we have some quirky stuff in Hawaii. And I got other videos that cover that stuff, right? Lava zones, flood zones because of tsunamis. We have condo hotels because of condo units that have a mix of vacation rentable or timeshare condos and ones that you can buy fee simple. So all of those different types of things play into what a lender looks like and what their underwriters look at. And so very often lenders will assume that they can just do business in Hawaii because they're licensed here, and they don't look a little bit deeper into what their underwriting guidelines are based on who they're working with or where that money is coming from. And so I always recommend that unless you're getting some amazing deals somewhere else, the lenders here are competitive with rates anywhere else, but the lenders here that we know that we've worked with in the past know the properties right off the top of their head, right? You can give them a condo complex and they'll know off the top of their head whether or not they can do it. You can give them an area of the island and they'll know right off the top of their head whether or not they can do a loan there. And you don't have to wait and go through the process. I can tell you countless times we get into a transaction and then 30 days in, the appraisal's already happened, we're really deep into the transaction. The lender says, oh, we sent it to underwriting and we can't loan on this property. And then we got to start the process all over again, scramble, get a local lender involved and get it started. So it's a hard discussion to have sometimes because if you're coming from somewhere else and you have a lender that you're loyal to, that you've worked with in the past, but they're licensed in Hawaii, you want to work with them. But I can't tell you how many times I've done that, had that initial conversation, they've assured me they can do the loan, and then we find out 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later that they can't, and then we got to start all over again. So I would highly recommend consider talking to somebody local. We can always recommend somebody great to you. Have that initial conversation. Make sure the rates and are comparable and that you're not going to be paying more money than you need to. But at a minimum, have that relationship established so you have a file started. So if we have to switch lenders, you can. And if it makes sense, just start off using that local lender and try to make that process of purchasing as smooth as possible, because we try and avoid the hiccups and the roadblocks and the challenges along the way. And that's usually the main one, is lending. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments below or email me at Dylan@5bigisland.com. And I appreciate you guys watching. Aloha.